all I've wanted to do since gave up dreams of being the New York Yankees shortstop was read and write. If you want to be a good writer, there's no substitute for reading all the time and writing all the time. That's pretty much what I did at the University of Virginia, not just in my studies, but I also was involved in a conservative magazine there, which was my initial journalistic experience. I grew up in Arlington, Virginia, and my father was an English professor. Hence, I grew up in an environment with a lot of books, and my mom was a social worker. But they weren't highly politically involved, and it was really through discovering the founder of National Review, Bill Buckley, and through getting energized by President Ronald Reagan that I got interested in politics. And as soon as I discovered Bill Buckley through his public affairs program, Firing Line, I hunted down an issue of National Review and have been reading it ever since. In high school, they had a career form that you filled out, I recall, and they asked, what do you want to be doing in 10 years and where do you want to be working? And I said, I want to be writing for National Review and living in New York City. So it's really been a dream for me to be able to do it, and not just a job, but a vocation. Well, in the Obama administration, on almost everything we were in opposition, which is, for an opinion magazine, is actually a very comfortable place to be. You get a lot of energy from being in opposition. Opinion magazines tend to be counter-cyclical. When the other side is in power, your circulation goes up, your readers get more energized. So the Nation magazine, our counterpart on the left, went way up in the Bush years. We went way up initially in the Obama years. Republican administrations are always inherently more problematic. Outside of the Reagan administration, and there were times when we were quite critical of Ronald Reagan, we have uncomfortable relationships with Republican politicians because they usually don't meet our standards. And National Review was kind of founded in part in opposition to Dwight Eisenhower. We were very tough on George H.W. Bush when he broke his tax pledge. There are a lot of things we didn't like about George W. Bush. So being uncomfortable with a Republican president in the form of Donald Trump, in one sense isn't something new, but in the other sense, it's been a very long time since we've had a Republican president who there's no colorable case really that he's a conservative. So our role as we see it's to call balls and strikes, to ding him and try to correct him when he's wrong, but to praise him, encourage him when we think he's right. I would urge people to get some reporting background, even if they don't ultimately want to be a reporter. It's going to give you the skills you need to do good opinion writing, because ultimately if it's just opinion, you're bloviating and it's not really useful. And also just being a reporter, it teaches you the importance of facts. There's nothing worse as a reporter than getting something wrong, and it's a mark of shame if you have a normal sensibility. And if you're a reporter and you publish a story, you're always concerned, who's going to call me the next morning? And I think that kind of respect for fact is very important in opinion journalism as well, and is learned best through reporting. Media has been democratized in all sorts of ways, and it's just much easier now for people to become quite influential opinion journalists almost immediately. With the advent of blogs and Twitter and all the rest of it, it's much easier for people who have something to say and are good to find an audience really quickly.